Greetings! Stay a while and listen to me, Marauderex, as we play Unicorn Overlord. Now, I've been kind of obsessed with this game since it came out. I've live streamed it a couple of times. Uh, I have finally completed my initial playthrough. I'm going to play through it as a Let's Play, but it was one that I really wanted to spend a lot of time with and just try to get a good handle on a lot of the mechanics as I was playing it, because there's so much to this game. It is insane. This has quickly become one of my favorite games. I don't know if it's in the top 5, but it's definitely in the top 10. Like, it's actually made me sit here and go, what would my top games be? Like, I don't know. So, I would actually have to think, because it's like I've been playing this a lot. There's a lot to this game that I'm just like, yeah, I need to play this. It's a Vanillaware title, so there's gorgeous artwork. It's all very like flowing animation style. There's a lot of high resolution food images. They're very big on food at Vanillaware. This game really feels like a spiritual successor to the Ogre Battle franchise. Like, this is a love letter to that franchise. But it also reminds me a lot of, other, early 16-bit RPGs. It does kind of hit a very similar Dragon Force vibe. To me, it's not super closely related to Dragon Force, but like I feel like the developers played that a little bit as well. It's amazing. It really is. So I'm really looking forward to doing this as a full project. Unicorn Overlord, done by Atlas and Sega. Alright, so we are going to start a brand new game. I have 2 save files that I'm going to keep from my playthrough, but we'll be creating some new save files for this. So you'll see the 2 that I've got are, a while in. So the story starts off with a rebellion. I guess that's the best way to put it. A rebellion, a coup. A coup might be a better way. A military coup. And there is voice acting, so I'll try to be quiet for it, so...
I beg you, my queen, take leave of this place while you're still able.
To where, I might ask? Nigh every last of Cornia's lords has forsaken us in favor of the traitor Valmor. No refuge remains for a crowned fugitive. Yet the general seeks my death and mine alone. I shall not flee from that fate. Though you still can, a sole rider with Elaine at your side. Take him, Joseph. Raise that delicate seedling into a sturdy tree capable of weathering the harsh climes that await. And pray safeguard the ring of the unicorn as well. Hold it close to you until Elaine is a man grown. He will have need of the power it bears.
My queen,
Mother? Are they coming for us?
Heed well these words, Elaine. I say this not as your mother, but as your queen. From here forth, you're to treat Joseph's command as though it were spoken directly with my tongue. Do you understand?
Of course, but is there something amiss?
My faith and more lies with you, Joseph. I only pray it is enough. Farewell, and may the heavens guide you.
Why just standing there, Joseph. Aren't you going to help her?
Would that I were able, my prince. Come, we've not a minute to spare.
So yeah, it's more of a coup because a traitors general has now kind of taken over, and it's not just our kingdom. We see a lot to it, and it's Valmore is the name of our great general, reduced to little more than a base traitor. So one thing people had problems with was the script. There was a lot of translation versus localization discourse. It was like, oh, they've made it too flowery. They've added too many weird metaphors and similes that were not in the original. I think it's fantastic, and I also love this song. So unit movement, we get to move, and this is kind of just a tutorial. I also kind of want to take a moment to be like, here are the people in our party. We've got Renault, a great knight. We've got Hodrick, or Hodrick, a legionnaire. Queen Elena, who's a Valkyria, and that just screams Valkyria Chronicles to me. We've got Alcina, a sorceress. And we've got Gailey, a sergeant. So, like, that's our team. And this gives you an idea of kind of like how unit compositions can be done as the game progresses. And we can move directly here, and it'll automatically do what it thinks is going to be the best path based off of the terrain and the movement. Or you can set waypoints if you think, you want to avoid something specifically. And then battles become these kind of cinematic moments where we have no control over combat. Except for we do. We can set kind of gambits. If you play Final Fantasy XII, you know how you can kind of have the AI characters that you're not controlling do things in your stead. And that's kind of how we can tell the characters what to do. So we just saw combat, and if we go back, we see... So Renault, our knight, has pile thrust and assaulting lance. And so, like, he'll do, by default, pile thrust, because that's his #1 action. He has 2 AP, which are the red gemstones. So pile thrust is 2 AP. He'll do that 1 time. He won't do assaulting lance, because he doesn't have the AP for it. He has 2 passive points, which are the blue gems, Quick Guard and Cavalier Call. So he'll do Quick Guard first, if that's applicable, then but these are kind of like reaction abilities, like you've activated my trap card kind of stuff. So like this one activates before being hit by a physical attack, and he will guard it. Cavalier Call activates before attacking with an active still. Grants cavalry allies in the user's row plus 20% attack, and the effect stacks. So if you have multiple cavaliers, you can stack that effect, which that is actually a very strong thing for later. And then we'll see that, characters like... So, Elena, she did Brandish. 2 active points, ignores 50% of the target's defense, and it gains a passive if it hits. So she'll actually get an additional passive. And then she's got Royal Guard, which will activate if she's attacked with a physical attack. Activates at the start of battle. That's the one that we saw first, that will grant 50% guard rate and physical 30 defense. So we can tell them to do different things. Like at this point it says Iron Crusher will attack armored. So if there's an armored enemy in the fight, she actually won't do Brandished. She'll use Iron Crusher because there's an armored person there. So we can kind of tell it to do things that we want it to do as you know, if-then kind of circumstances, like basic programming.
Brace yourself.
So that's kind of the control that we've got in it. And then each character goes in turn based off of an initiative stat. So there's a lot that you have to kind of keep attention to, but in doing so, it will let you come up with some really interesting strategies that you probably wouldn't get if you had full control over these characters' actions, because you wouldn't think to do certain things in certain orders. So, there was some criticism about how people wish that they just had control over combat in these scenarios like this, and just, you know, an action menu. But the thing is, combat can get very in-depth. And like we're seeing this here where it's like we have a team of 5 people against teams of 4 and 5 people, and it can take a minute. And as you can see on this map, there's
We've no time to falter.
I can't pause battle at the moment. We see on the upper map, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 enemies, enemy units, and we can deploy up to 10. So combat can get pretty bogged down with just the number of things that are happening. So I kind of like the way this works, but I get some people weren't super happy about it.
Caesar!
Enlighten me, Valmor. To what end do you seek to usurp my throne?
Self-centered fool. It's not merely your throne I aspire towards. It's all of them. Zenoira are the rightful sovereigns of Fevrith, and I, the blade to restore our world to its natural order.
You seek to plunge the continent into war. Fevrith need not suffer your delusions.
A proper ruler demands unity, not pointless politicking with insufferable neighbors. Now, I shall achieve that unity through conquest and reclaim that which is rightfully mine.
I would sooner see you slain by my hand!
I do also love that Queen Elena, or Elena, has 2 shields. She's just like, I'm totally...
My queen, the royal lineage shall endure. 'Tis but a great shame I couldn't aid you further.
I also love Joseph. He's got a bit of a complex because, like, he had to leave. Like, yeah.
And yet our work only just begins. We stand now at a new dawn for Fevrith, one which will see Zenoira's dominion restored at last. Curious, though, that we've no trace of the old knight's captain.
About that, my lord. A lone cavalry unit was spotted riding through the eastern gate before it was barred.
Then the boy is lost to us. A truth obscured only by his mother's futile attempt at a counter-offensive. It would seem I underestimated her penchant for deception.
So yeah, that's the plot. Like, General takes over. Military coup takes over the world.
Year 895 of the Hallowed Chronicle. Claiming himself a scion of the fallen Zenoiran Empire, Cornia's once decorated General Valmor rebelled against his erstwhile home at the seat of its monarchy, Gran Corine. Its queen, Elenia, bold in the face of this staggering betrayal, stood unshrinking as the shield to her son Elaine's safe flight, and mustering what meager forces remained by her side, she rallied a defense as valorous as it was damned. With Cornia's queen lost, care of the young prince fell to her faithful knight, Joseph, who took wing beyond Valmor's wretched grasp to asylum on the Forned Isle of Palavia in the Holy Kingdom of Albion. And boastfully proclaiming himself Fevrith's new emperor, Valmor donned a second name, Calarius, and began a relentless onslaught the continent's nations could only but struggle against. Yet each realm's endeavors fell in vain time and again, and ere long Zenoira's vile dominion was realized. His blood-soaked unification come to bear, few dared stand against the ironclad fist of Emperor Galerius. Embers of resistance burnt on, yet the downtrodden could cling only to furtive hopes of liberation. Desperate prayers which fell upon deaf ears night after unceasing night.
And that's the game. I hope you've enjoyed.
Since the Shroud of War first set over Cornia.
It's like it does a really good job of saying, yeah, everything's bad. Everything's bad. And, you know,
I wonder if those two are at it again. Well, that takes care of the altar. I suppose I should be getting back.
I do love that the scene is so long that I hadn't used the controller and the screen's trying to go dark. Like, really? And now we're just getting to, you know, the title. But look at this game. This is the kind of world map that we've got. It's gorgeous. I love everything about it. Like, all of the art style of this.
Sorry, Elaine, but this round's mine.
Ah, you always were the optimist.
Damn it! You got a good hit in, I'll give you that. There's just no stopping you these days.
Yet you've grown no less than I have. Still, we could likely train for the rest of our lives, and even then, never manage to best Joseph.
Weird to think he's back on the mainland now. Finally making that Liberation Army thing a reality, huh? Guess that means we'll be going up against Zenoira soon.
Indeed it does. The people of Cornia are suffering, Lex. Crying out for whatever help will hear their pleas. Should I turn a deaf ear to those voices, I would have little and less claim to the crown I feel is mine. That, and I owe it to my mother to see them safe.
Well, yeah, but Zenoira's got the whole world in the palm of their hand. How are we gonna fight back against that?
The earth may be theirs, but the heavens will surely favor those who stand for justice.
You got a point there. Sorry for not sounding all too confident. Just make sure you don't take it all on yourself. I'll be with you every step of the way.
Thank you, Lex. You know I can't do this without you.
Oh, stop. You're gonna make me blush. Anyway, that's enough training for today. We're gonna miss lunch if we don't get moving.
I suppose it is that time.
You see something out there?
It's a ship.
Looks like they're flying Zenoira colors, too.
This island is no longer safe. We have to tell the others.
With you there. You head for the cathedral. I'll make sure the town knows what's coming.
And of course, the whole world's under Zenoiran control, so like, how is this now suddenly a thing?
Seal off the harbor, and do it quick! Not a soul gets off this island under our watch. All soldiers have alighted, sir!
Dispatch the vanguard to the cathedral. And remember, we're to apprehend the target alive.
And
Understood, sir!
that's Hodrick, who is in the Queen's final vanguard, wearing Zenoiran colors and leading a battalion.
Heavenly Father, ruler of land and sky above, we pray this day for deliverance from evil. Grant us the meager sustenance to nourish our fragile bodies in the times to come. Guide our lost souls on the path to salvation. Shine down your radiant light upon us, for darkness looms thick through all corners of Fevrith. Such is my request as your humble servant. In the name of the Guardian Unicorn, and that of the Holy Mother. Is that you, Elaine? How many times must I ask you not to stomp around in the cathedral? What is the meaning of this?
Well, look what we've got here. Seems we're the first to show. Rough her up if you want, but don't forget, the girl dies and our heads will roll too.
Such depravity will not go unpunished. Not in the house of the Heavenly Father.
Yeah? Then you'd best get to praying. She's fast.
I do love her dodge.
What the?
Scarlet, are you hurt?
Only a little shaken, that's all. What's happening to us, Elaine?
A ship has come ashore on Palavian soil. One hoisting the banner of the Zenoiran army.
And are they aware that you're the Crown Prince?
I can't say for certain, but we know one thing. These people are our enemy, and they must be stopped.
Yes. My cathedral will see no more bloodshed this day. Come, let's move outside.
Yeah, just the two dead guys inside. That'll be enough.
Your Highness, it's a relief to see you unharmed.
Hold on. Where's Lex?
He went ahead to alert the town. We best find him and get to the harbor.
Indeed. But first, my prince, this belongs to you.
A ring.
The Ring of the Unicorn. Queen Elenia wished for you to have it. In truth, I had intended to wait till signs of age played more deeply across your face. But we no longer have such luxury. I have the utmost faith you'll see it secured.
A keepsake from my mother. Thank you for this, Joseph. Truly.
Make no further mention of it. Now, let us be off.
I do also love that Joseph, basically being a single father, has caused him to go completely gray. Alright, so this is the first, like, actual battle tutorial that we get. So it tells us, okay, how to control things, how to deploy units. You can deploy them from command posts or garrisons. You can deploy them anywhere that it'll let you within the circle. So, like, I obviously can't do it on the building or in the water, but, like, the trees are fine, the road is fine, and you can go up to the edge of the circle, and that's actually kind of where you want to go a lot of time, just so that it gets you ahead of the movement. So, deploying units uses Valor. Valor points are replenished by defeating enemies, liberating towns, finding items, or using items. And move Elaine's unit to the enemy. We gotta move to them and get into a fight. Battle menu. We can kind of change stats. We only have 2 people in this group. They're both level 1. It really doesn't matter what we do, but we can take a look. We've got Elaine, level 1 Lord. Scarlet, level 1 Priestess. He's got a bronze shield and the Ring of the Unicorn. She has a ribbon, and we have no other accessories. He's got Lean Edge, which will recover 25% HP, so a quarter of his health. And it recovers more if he gets the killing strike with that. So Elaine, starting off, is actually a pretty self-sufficient character. Doesn't really need to be paired with a healer, but she also has Holy Light, which is a magic attack that does exceptional amount of damage to defensive units, because it also removes all of their buffs. But she has a quick heal. Noble Guard is, hey, you can block an enemy attack, and Noble Guard is only if we are attacked, I believe. I don't think we will jump in front of another unit. There are abilities that will let us do that. Noble Guard might jump in front of others. I don't remember. I actually never really built Elaine as a defensive unit. I kept him more as an offensive. And then Scarlet has Quick Heal, which that one's yellow because it actually comes from her ribbon. So activates after an enemy is hit by an attack. So we can see and get into battle. Battle plays accordingly, according to various predetermined rules. Initiative determines turn order. Active skills. Using skills, use active. We already kind of covered this in the first one, but combatants will take turns using active skills in order of their initiatives. Battle will continue until all combatants run out of AP. So it's entirely possible that you can end a fight without killing everyone if everyone's used up all of their active turns. And so the passive skill, so we did trigger Noble Guard. And you can see he's got the little orange and blue lights around him. He was hit with a defense down because of the attack of the Housecarl, which is the guy who was with the axe. And then one of their passive abilities is Parting Blow. It's at the end of battle, they get to do an additional attack. Battle will end when everyone runs out of active points.
We march on.
And characters that fight together gain rapport, which will change their stats when paired with those units. So, like, you know, Elaine and Scarlet will probably have attack and defense boosts, magic boosts based off of the character. If neither unit is defeated, the one with the lower percentage HP is declared the loser, and they get knocked back and have a wait timer, during which they are susceptible to a first strike. So we move forward and attack them again, as long as they're still within that wait status. So first strike means all of our team will go first before they get to attack, which really means, especially in the early game when you have very little AP, that we just all go first. All that remains now is to reclaim the town. And as you can see, when we did that, we started off with 6 stamina, which was the little number in the banner, and now we're down to 4. Each time you get into a fight, you will lose stamina. And when you run out of stamina, you are completely unable to move until you go into a rest phase. But recovering or liberating towns gives us valor, and it can restore a unit's stamina. We get the town, and we can also start deploying units from that town. So that's how you can kind of move your battle lines forward. So Lex was in the town. He's now our new unit that we're going to get to use. So he's going to scout ahead, and it's just Lex in a party, so it's just him. So the game wants us to move to that location.
Ready.
So we'll do that, and we can speed up battle by using the ZR button. Alright, we can move Lex to commence with battle, and as we can see, each of these units has 2 people to Lex's 1.
On it.
And this is not going to go well. Because each one of their attacks does defense down. And they both get to do 2 attacks because of their parting blow. So we lost that fight. But we're supposed to lose that fight, so it works. Might have gotten too eager there. We'll never make it in time. And then we also learn about mobility. Depending on the unit, they will have a different mobility stat. And cavalry and flying units have a ton of mobility. Either the fact that they can go in a straight line ignoring terrain, or that they will move very quickly. Joseph will move very quickly.
By your word.
And then if we get into a fight with 2 units kind of next to each other, we can, you know, swap. And now we'll get to see a unit of like, okay, how...
I shall hold nothing back.
It's not looking great.
Like, how we will see it. So, like, they would get a first strike because he's already weakened. So he just die. Like, that skull and crossbones, he's just dead.
Gaze upon the face of your demise.
On the other hand, Joseph is also level 20 versus their level 1, so it really doesn't matter what happens. Joseph is going to wreck house.
Stand true.
Because, you know, when you got a 20 level difference, your stats are going to be just a little high.
Healing.
But that doesn't negate the XP gain. So it just means... So XP gain is relative based off of level. So if a level 1 person is in your party and you're going against level 50 people, that level 1 person and you win, you'll get a ton of XP for it. Because that level 1, it's not based off of the highest level person in the party. It's based off of the level of people you are going against.
I've not chosen my grave yet.
So yeah, they're gonna run away. It's a miracle you can even put your armor on. Chloe gives Lex so much shit. And we get some healing tonics. They tell us how to use items now.
I just want to sleep.
And there we go. Lex is back to full. Perhaps you'd better be better served watching Lex directly. He's a bit of a liability on his own. And so now we can see that Chloe's joined Lex's unit. I do like that the people in this are tiny. That doesn't continue for too much longer. Like you'll stop noticing that as the game progresses. That's Hodrick. He and I used to stand... Yes, he was... For those in the audience, we saw him fight alongside your mother. Prepare yourself. Must be put to the sword. Ridding this land of the enemy must our first and only priority. Alright, so now we have victory conditions. If we run out of time or we lose, we lose. We can select multiple units, and we can pause to use items.
As you wish.
And we will have units go into battle,
I shall hold nothing back.
get into a fight. And Joseph is really good at this point because he is very, very powerful. So we don't need to worry about him. But it also means that he can come in, do a great deal of damage to a unit, soften them up for one of the other units to go in and clean up. I mean, at this point, he's going to kill both of these guys, which is a bit insane. So let's see what our other units are going to do.
You face me. Come.
You don't stand a chance.
So Lex and Chloe would actually take this team out. So I want to see that. And that's because Chloe has an ability that attacks an entire column of people. Which that team was just very poorly designed to go against this team.
In service of the crown.
So that's going to be one other thing that's going to play into
The path is set.
into combat, is, you know, where your team is positioned. So I probably actually shouldn't have gone against this team because I took a lot of damage there.
I have you.
I'll heal a lot of damage, but so will he. Alright, let's move you there, and let's move you there. We'll get Elaine some combat experience. I'm not getting the first strike that I really want because I'm not able to get to them fast enough because I don't have that much movement. So and heal and laser beams. And that's they're done. And now we will send you down here, and we can send Hodrick here to do some preemptive damage. We can see that the fight with Lex's group wouldn't do a ton, but I do kind of want to get him some XP. So
gaze upon the face of your demise.
So we'll go ahead and do that.
This struggle will only prolong the pain. Accept the mercy of a swift demise.
I fail to understand, Hodrick. What has motivated this shift in allegiance?
Joseph, Cornia's most decorated knight. I shall close the book on your tale myself.
Except not. Like, I'm not gonna lose this fight. You're not doing nearly enough damage to me. And your little axe-wielding friend is dead. Such a firm defense, our weapons barely leave a scratch. Yes, her magic will do considerably better. And hey, fast forward. We're actually going to stop. We'll stop that movement because it really wants us to use Scarlet. And I want the level ups, honestly, for the two of them. So they're done. And we don't have any Valor skills at the moment. So, like, I have 4 Valor, no other units that I can send out, and no abilities to use, so it's like I'm just sitting on Valor.
Why are you doing this? You, who once stood as my mother's royal guard.
Enough of your questions, Weldon. Interfere, and I shall see you suffer for it.
And all buffs removed. Like, that's a lot of damage. Not enough to kill him, but another round of this, and he's dead. But yeah, going against heavily armored units, you want magic. Sadly, the only magic we have is from our healer, and not an offensive caster, but... And we have liberated Palavia Harbor. And when you complete a battle stage like this, you get a score, which the score itself really doesn't matter much, only in that you do get some rewards for it, but I don't really think the score affects those, because like you get rated based off of time, what towns and places you liberate, the number of enemies that you defeat, and then your current renown rank gives a multiplier. And then you can get money, you get honors, which we will use to upgrade units, and renown, which will unlock unit builds for us.
What foolishness is this? One such as I, brought low by the Cornian vermin that gnawed our ankles.
You've fallen far indeed, Hodrick. How many times did you stare death in the face at Her Majesty's side? Now, look what you've become. I may stand as your swordmaster no longer, but I can yet offer you a merciful end to your descent.
Wait.
Your Highness.
Tell me, Hodrick, do you remember the times you and I played together? When I was still just a boy? Yours was a bond of loyalty few knights could hope to equal. Why cast that aside and bend the knee to Galerius? I refuse to cut down a friend without first knowing how we've reached this grim conclusion. A simple reason is all I ask. Please.
Elaine!
The ring! What sorcery is this?
Oh, my head. What am I doing here?
And with the magic ring comes the ability to turn invisible. No, wrong ring.
A spell to shackle the hearts of men.
'Tis the only way I can think to describe it, my prince. That ill-fated day, all the lords closest to your mother turned upon her without so much as a moment's notice. Unfortunately, my memories end there as well.
A frightful power, if what you say is true. This spell of control, it could be called. Such magic would go far in explaining how Galerius so swiftly brought Fevrith to its knees.
I shudder to think what unspeakable evil I wrought upon our world these last 10 years. Though there is no greater misdeed than turning my spear upon you, Prince Elaine.
That's enough. You mustn't blame yourself any further. But I do wonder, how is this ring capable of unmaking the spell?
In truth, I had believed it to be mere regalia, a symbol of your birthright and nothing more. To think the power of cleansing truly exists. Your Highness, that is the Ring of the Unicorn, ancestral treasure of Cornia's royal lineage. Legend speaks of your ancestors wielding it to purify evil, but I had believed such tales to be mere fiction.
The Orthodoxy has a similar story about the Holy Unicorn. How it was a sacred beast able to purge darkness from our lands. It's entirely possible that the ring that bears its image is somehow capable of that same power.
Should Galerius's rule be built upon a foul sorcery that fetters our people, then this ring is the ray of light that will pierce its wicked heart.
Your words ring true, my prince.
Indeed. Were we able to free those bound by his cruel magics?
It might just bring the iron wall of Zenoira crashing down.
All told, I've often found myself plagued with doubt. Is it justice that guides our march, or paltry vendetta? Yet the answer is clear as day now. The path before us is laid bare, and all that remains now is to walk it. Walk it I will, Mother. Today marks our first foray into the mists of despair which hang heavy over our home. Mists that will soon be dispelled. It may take days, months, or even years, but I shall see the duties of my bloodline fulfilled, and slay Galerius like the beast he is.
So, Magic Ring undoes evil magic that brain controls everyone. And that's how our plucky little rebellion is going to win.
And how does Hodrick fare?
Well, all things considered, any fog that lingered in his mind seems to have cleared, and he stands ready to fight once more. By the way, Your Highness, allow me to brief you on our plans for when we arrive. Among the Liberation members I've mustered in my past excursions is a young yet skilled knight by the name of Clive. I'll ride to bring him to you the moment we've reached solid ground.
You have my thanks.
A word, Elaine?
Is something wrong?
Well,
Yes. No.
no, it's nothing.
Are you sure? Anxiety will be the death of you if you keep it bottled up like that.
It really isn't important, I assure you. It's just, our lives have changed so drastically from the peace we had only yesterday. It barely seems real.
I can't say I feel any different. But I've always known this day would come. It's why I've spent all these years training under Joseph's careful instruction. A shame you never had the chance to meet my mother. She was always one to blaze a path forward, royal blade in arm. But as her heir, I intend to lead in much the same way.
Is that why you and Lex spent all your days banging swords down at the shore?
You've seen that, have you? You know, Hodrick was likely but one of many. And assuming the others who surrendered to Zenoira are being controlled as he was, we may just stand a chance in this. Yet our liberation is still in its nascent days. Promising, yes, but gravely fragile as well. Which is precisely why I'll need your help, Scarlet. To reclaim peace for all who have suffered.
Elaine, Of course. I'll do everything I can. As is my role as a priestess of the Palavian Church.
Hey, don't forget about me.
Lex...
What?
I'm sorry, my prince. Decorum doesn't come naturally to this fool.
It's all right. When you've known each other as long as we have, there's no reason to let formality bind us.
But there are protocols to observe. Rules we must follow as vassals in service of the crown. Still, I'm of the same mind. What mind he has, that is. I'll give my all in the royal name, Your Majesty.
Thank you all. I couldn't ask for a finer group of friends.
I love that they're like, we have to be formal. He's like, no. No, we don't. Alright, so I will actually go ahead and end this episode here, and I will see you all in the next installment, where we will continue with the story, landing back on Cornian shores. So till then, later everyone.